Hi, this is Olivia.
And this is Robin, and you're listening to K-Pop Hot Sheet. So, this is our third episode. Um, I know that we are being pretty bad about sticking to any sort of schedule. Schedule, what's that? We don't seem to know. We're going to try to get better about it, but for now, if you're enjoying what you're hearing so far, just make sure to follow us on Instagram at K-Pop Hot Sheet. We're going to get better at uploading there, making updates. And if you follow us on Apple Music or Spotify, you'll get notified when we have new episodes. So thanks for hanging in there with us. And if you want to start a K-pop hot sheet drinking game, you can drink anytime our audio is slightly messed up, anytime we say like. Definitely take a shot whenever we say safe space.
We do say that a lot. Although I don't know if we'll say that a lot this time. Maybe. Do we need a safe space? But yeah, hopefully we'll get better that they won't have to continue this drinking game. Maybe it'll just be for the first couple of episodes, but we'll get there. Honestly, I think we're doing so much better this year than last year. So
Because we're actually doing it.
we are. And we're so much more organized. They don't need to see. I'm not going to say why we're more organized, but we're so much more organized.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so excited for today's topic actually. Today we're going to discuss virtual K-pop groups, which are all the rave now, right? Like I feel like they're popping out left and right.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm excited about this because obviously we've been kind of introduced to it a little bit slightly, but it's been ramping up. And I was on TikTok, as I always am. Um, and this group came up called Mave, and it's fully a virtual K-pop group. And of course, the first person I go to is Robin. I text her right away. I'm like, oh my God, have you seen this group? Their song actually sounds kind of fun. And I feel like since that conversation, we've gone into a bit of a rabbit hole into, well, there's this one and that one, and I'm watching the show. So there's a few that we've now want to talk about that we've got into our research. So we want to get into a bit of Maeve. We'll discuss actually a virtual singer from the 90s who knew that it started, back then. We're going to KDA, Eternity, Super Kind, and then Girls Reverse. So there's a lot to get into.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dive into some of these. Well, because actually, besides KDA and Girls Reverse, which I'm only on episode 2 of that, but we'll talk about that later. Like, those are the only two that I'm really familiar with. So all of this is brand new to me, and I cannot wait to see Adam from 1998.
Yeah, no, I mean same. Like obviously I've seen Maeve because of the TikTok thing, but KDA I remember, but I'm excited to kind of like see their video again, and then everything else is new to me. So this is like raw,
Some
reactions.
unfiltered reactions to whatever weird stuff we're about to uncover here together. But let's start with Maeve. So you saw them on TikTok.
Yeah, I saw them on TikTok. Their debut song is Pandora. They just debuted on January 25th, so it was it's probably around that time that I saw them. And their entertainment agency is a subsidiary, I'm glad I said that word right, of a game company called Netmarble. So that was interesting finding that out. And it makes sense, kind of, right? That it's game companies that are creating them. But especially because KDA was also kind of like linked with League of Legends, and that's another game company. So it was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's an interesting correlation.
the game companies have the tech for sure to be able to do all of this wild stuff. I'm sure that and I don't well, we didn't even look into whether any of the big three companies are going down this path, but
Well, Espa,
well, so okay, those are avatars where yeah, but it's
but it's virtual.
I don't know. For some reason, I think of them separately, and maybe it's because I've been watching Girls Reverse so much.
Okay, let's get into that. But yeah, let's watch Maeve and then kind of discuss what we think about them, how we feel. I do want to point out because I realize even with the last episode, like I know we kind of go away and we watch and listen, but I feel like our listeners only get a snippet. So if you want to pause and like look up the video, you could feel free. Or if you've already seen it, then you can just proceed and just listen to our reactions.
We'll put the links. Let's put the links in
Yes,
our
totally.
podcast description. Look at us. We're getting there, guys.
So organized. Safe space. All right, so let's go listen to Maeve. Okay, so we just watched Maeve. I know you said you had a comment.
Oh, so actually, my comment that I had isn't even about specifically Maeve, but it's something that I thought of while I was watching that because the video, I mean, wow, like, I was so. At the very beginning, I was like, holy shit, these look like real people. Then as it goes on, you're like, yeah, they don't. But
It
it's,
gets a bit more Barbie like.
yeah. But I kept staring at their clothes for some reason. I was just fascinated by
Yeah.
like the sunglasses and like all of the, like how nice everything looked. So it made me think while I was like obsessed with their clothes. And I also made the comment, did I just see her panties in that one dance shot? But she's probably wearing safety shorts. She's not a real person. So weird. But it made me think of a lot of groups will, not a lot, but well, kind of a lot of groups have controversy sometimes about cultural appropriation and things that they're doing. And I'm
Oh,
like, man, if this happens with a virtual group, you can't say that was a mistake. The stylist grabbed something off a rack. Like, you are literally designing the shit out of some shit, and it's taken a while. Um,
you're so right.
so that thought just really, I was like, oh
You
man.
know what's funny? And I know we're gonna get into this later. The fact that virtual groups, you think, okay, like they're not gonna have controversies, they're not gonna have scandals, they're not real people. But you bring up a good point. They could have scandals on complete other things, which is like artistic decisions that they make. And then you can't hide behind the fact that, like, oh, they were ignorant or they didn't know or whatever, because you literally created it. Like, there was research that went behind it, so you could have made sure to not make that mistake.
Yeah,
So,
this is all so, man. Oh, wow. Okay.
you know what's interesting looking at the video again, because I've seen pictures that they've put out, and I think there was also a dance video that came out, and they looked more real than the video. Like looking at the video now, it does seem more cartoonish. And there was sections too towards the end where the lips didn't sync 100% with what you knew. You know what I mean? Like when you see a cartoon and the mouths just move, but it doesn't feel or look as natural as someone's actually singing.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that like
So,
with TikTok, you like the videos that you're uploading are lower quality, so you can make stuff like that look better. And I'm sure that obviously all the static pictures they're posting all over the place are obviously absolutely fake and photoshopped.
yeah, but they look so real there.
They
It's
do. It's
crazy.
ugh. I don't know. It's kind of creeping me out a little bit.
What did you think of the song? Because I like it's fun. I feel like it's a fun song, especially the chorus. The chorus. I can't even say it
I
right.
do like the song. I see
Yeah,
myself listening to this song.
right. It's fun. It hypes you up. So that was Maeve. Any other comments before we move on? Any other thoughts on them or?
Nah, I think let's just. I'm gonna keep track of these
Yeah,
fake ladies.
I mean they're pretty new, and honestly, they might have more. I don't know if they have another song, but this is the only one that I knew, and they just debuted like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I think I saw somewhere when I was doing the research that the views on the video were like 5 million. So like they made a splash. So they might be someone to watch out for and see what happens. Okay, so yeah, so moving on from Maeve, when we started organizing the podcast and what we're going to talk about today, one of the thoughts that came up between us was like, oh, like there's not many boy virtual groups, right? Like it's all girls. And I was curious, so I Googled it. And actually, the first ever virtual like K-pop singer came out in 1998 and it was a male. It was Adam. Of course, he had um, such a male name. But it's because the company that made him is Adamsoft, so it's like named after the company.
But well, maybe the company was named after him. I mean, Adam, the first man, like Adam and Eve.
Maybe that's true. No, I think the company existed before him and they made him. But I was so shocked that it was 1998. I thought this was like like a new thing. It's now. But they actually explored this back in the 90s, which is wild to me.
I cannot wait to see this and see what it looks like. Like I'm just picturing a little. I don't even know what I'm picturing.
On YouTube, and we post the link, like the YouTube little box is literally a square box. It's not even the rectangular. Like it needs, the quality is so old.
Oh my god, I'm so
So,
excited for this.
all
All
right,
right.
let's go watch that, and we'll definitely share this link because I'm sure no one has watched Adam before. Okay, so we just listened to Adam. I mean, it was classic ballad.
It was. I mean, it was good. Like
It was good.
ballad from 1988. I actually really enjoyed it.
No, he was good. I mean, we couldn't watch the whole thing because it was just him just like standing on stage. It was not like Maeve. um, but he was good. So he debuted with his album No Love Like This, an album, not just a single, in 1998. He was a voiceover by an unknown singer and sold 200,000 copies. But the project was then closed as attention kind of fell back. I guess people were not ready for a virtual singer back then. And the funny thing I read, which I was like, Robin, I'm not gonna say this until the podcast. So when they the project like closed, so Adam Soft, the publisher, said that Adam joined the military.
Stop.
That's-
Oh my god.
which is hilarious. And then of course people were like making like fun rumors that he was killed by a computer virus,
Oh my god.
because it was like before the millennium. It was
Y
so funny.
Y2K killed him. That's why he never made it back from the
That's
military. Poor
why, poor
dude.
Adam. But apparently there was this group that was trying to bring him back. They were trying to raise money to
Wait,
resurrect him, do a reboot,
they
and
were
and they
trying
were
to
raising
raise
funds.
they were trying to
What'd you
raise
say?
money?
Yeah, they were trying to raise money to kind of because it's expensive probably
Yeah,
to bring
I
him back.
know, but like are these fans? Like they're so hella into it that they're I don't
It was a startup company. I don't think it was fans. I
know.
think it was a
Okay,
startup that
okay.
was trying to do it, so they were trying to raise funds, and they set a goal of 500,000 won, which was just $422, which is nothing. I don't even know why they were raising funds for this. Um, but anyways, like it failed because Korean netizens were like, "What is the point of this? Like, why are you bringing him back?" Like, they didn't want him back. It didn't make sense.
No.
And they were just short of like $50 of their fundraising, which it's weird because it's like if you were short 50, I feel like you could have found $50. Maybe this was a scam. I don't know. But that was Adam. So he was the precursor. He was the one who paved the way for these virtual artists. Okay, they should respect Adam
Re-
Sombenim.
Respect Adam. Oh my god. Yeah, he looked like a sim, which what do you expect in 1998?
Yeah,
So I mean, they tried.
they tried. They
They
did.
really did.
It took a couple more years to get to, I guess, KDA. Was KDA next? I mean, maybe not. Maybe they weren't exactly next, but they were the next ones that I think made a splash.
Yes. KDA is my first sort of virtual group that I actually really liked. I love their song Pop Stars, which was, I think, the first one that came out. Before we go away and listen to that, even though I don't need to listen to it, I've probably watched this video way too many times. It definitely was in my Spotify top song for whatever year that came out, 2018, 2019. Um, but KDA is a virtual K-pop girl group. They are versions of League of Legends characters. It has two (G)I-DLE members and two American singers. And apparently, so not only was the group created to promote the League World Championships, but also to sell in-game KDA skins of the characters in League of Legends. So this was fully a League of Legends being genius and hopping on the K-pop train, or at least putting half of their eggs in the K-pop basket and the other half using American singers. I mean, brilliant genius
I mean, League
marketing
of
move.
Legends is huge
Yeah,
across the world. So it's like,
such
yeah,
such a
it
good
was not
marketing
hard
move.
for them to get people to do this.
So let's go away and watch their fucking fantastic song Pop Stars. I
Okay,
love it.
let's go. Okay, so we just watched KDA, which I've seen this before, but years ago. Um, but I mean, it was classic, the usual. It was good. I haven't listened to anything else they've done. How many more songs have they done? Do you know?
I know of at least one. I think there might be more. Um,
Okay,
so
but it's always these same girls.
yeah,
Madison B, like they have a contract. It's (G)I-DLE's Miyeon,
as
Soyeon,
as
Madison
far
Beer,
as I
Jailbirds.
know, yeah.
Okay, that's so interesting.
And actually, I was really excited. So I'm obsessed with this song. I put it on my like workout playlist. I mean, when I say that I've probably heard it 1,000 times, it's not an exaggeration. I love it that much. And I was really excited because (G)I-DLE, when they were going to have their tour, when was that? It must have been 2020 because they got canceled due to COVID. But I had tickets and they'd started the tour. And I looked at the set list and I was like, please, please, please. I know that only two of them are in KDA and it's like, whatever. They were going to do Pop Stars. And I was hype.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Never got to see it, but
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I don't play League of Legends, so I can't even speak to any of that, but
Yeah, but you know what's funny? Again, like I don't know. I think, and I've never played League of Legends, so I'm sorry if this is a very ignorant comment to make at this point. But I assume there's male characters and probably like fantasy characters. So it's interesting. Again, they just chose the four women, female characters. They could have made a co-ed
well, I
group,
don't even
right?
know. I don't, so maybe we shouldn't even talk about this because I don't know either,
We don't know. Yeah. Don't even go into
but
this
the
rabbit
way
hole of
that
League
I
of
read
Legends.
it, it sounded like either those were pre-existing characters or they became skins for pre-existing characters that you could buy.
Okay. Okay. But I mean, if it's a skin, it's probably for a girl skin, right? They were very
Of
sexy.
course, yes.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's KDA. What was our next
Eternity, which
Eternity?
so as we started looking into all of this weird virtual stuff and Olivia was finding Adam, I in my initial Google came up with Eternity. So I started reading this BBC article about them. So I'm gonna ramble off some of the stuff from the article that I found out because the quotes from the CEO are so interesting and really I mean, it brings up a lot of crazy points. But initially, this company that created this group Eternity, they generated 101 fantasy faces and divided them into 4 categories according to their charms. So cute, sexy, innocent, and intelligent. So,
I wonder what an intelligent face looks like versus a cute and sexy face.
wearing glasses, I guarantee.
Oh my God, you're right.
Then fans were asked to vote on their favorites, and in-house designers started working on animating the winning characters according to these fan preferences. So this is kind of a fan-sourced, what do you want these guys to look like? So for live chats or any sort of online fan meets, the avatar faces are projected onto anonymous singers, actors, and dancers that are contracted by this company called Pulse 9. So
Okay.
they are apparently contracting different people, anonymous. Who knows how much they get paid? Obviously,
People that aren't celebrities
yeah,
yet,
they're
rookies,
not
yeah.
getting any credit, clearly. I wonder what the contract is like, too. Like, if they can,
I mean, they probably can't
yeah.
say that they did this, right? Like, they might be like, or for X amount of years, right?
Yeah, so this one's weird. Let's take a moment now to check out this video. So neither of us have heard of
Yeah,
this group or
completely new.
seen this or anything. So I'm ready to.
Let's see if they're better than Maeve. Okay. Okay, so we said we were gonna compare them to Maeve, right? So different in a bad way.
It's all of it is so different because I didn't realize until we started watching the first video. So the first video we watched is I'm Real.
Oh my
So
God.
haha, ironic, they're not
Would
real.
say you
Well,
have to go watch it. Anyone who hasn't seen it, like just please pause and go watch it first.
it is so
So bad.
bad. The singing is so bad, which is weird because if you're going to contract people specifically to sing,
Yeah.
like who? I mean, I'm sorry. I feel bad saying that because these are real people that sang,
Well,
but
maybe someone did them dirty because
wow.
they just didn't even sound good together. And that's the problem because they probably contracted 5 different people and were like, here, record this track. And then someone put it together and it didn't sound good at all.
No, and I didn't realize that it was gonna be like a Frankenstein person where in the video you'll see it's the real human person, like the contracted dancer dancing, and the fake designed face is like projected or superimposed on top of this real person body, then with a voice
Some other
of
person.
uh, some other
Yeah.
person. So it's
It's very
very
awkward. And then we
weird.
couldn't even finish the first one. We're like, okay, we got the idea. And I had to read the comments. And a lot of people were saying, oh, their newer songs are better. They really improve. So I was like, we have to just just take a look. And we looked at, oh God, what was a song called? DTDTGMGN. I don't even know what that means. But it's performed by Chorong and Jiwoo. And I'm not sure if they're celebrities or if it's just people that got credit.
No, I think it has to be like the names of the two faces
Oh,
that are being
okay.
put on.
I don't know. Anyways, it was only 2 of them, right? And they did sound a lot better. It flowed better. They sounded more in sync when they're harmony, when they're singing together. But it still looked weird and felt weird. And the face thing, like I'd rather just see Maeve. You know what I mean? Like I'm just give me the full virtual person then. This just looks awkward.
It looks, because it literally is this pretty much. Remember Blackpink? I think it was do 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 do.
Mm.
Which whatever. I hate trying to say that. uh, they had Instagram, and maybe it wasn't an Instagram filter, but there was something where you could superimpose your face on top of the video, and I did it, and I posted it on Instagram, and I think I traumatized literally all of my friends. But that is exactly what it looks
Yeah, it's
like
not even. It's like
because that's
Elfster.
the
You ever
same.
done Elfster? When they put your face and you're like a little elf and you're dancing around for Christmas. Yeah, it's like that.
Yes, I know. I know what you're talking about. I've never done that.
You're like, of course I've done the K-pop one, not the Elfster one.
Oh man, that was weird. That I don't even know if that counts. Does that count as virtual?
I
I don't
mean,
even know what that
I
was.
guess it does. And I know you looked into this, right? And the CEO was saying that the advantage of having virtual artists is that while K-pop stars often struggle with physical limitations or even mental distress, virtual artists can be free from these. And the scandals created by real human K-pop stars can be entertaining, but it's also a risk to the business. But in this case, they're still using real people, and you're still having people like do the dances and the songs. Maybe they're not going to live shows and they're not getting distressed like that, but I'm sure they have physical limitations there. And honestly, you might be working them to death and have them under a contract where they can't say anything and no one knows their face or what they look like, so they can't even speak up for themselves or do
Well, even
anything.
the fact, yeah, even the fact that like we were just kind of shit talking the singing in the one song, like those are real people. Not that they're ever gonna
But
hear
they'll see
us
the
talking
comments,
about
not
it.
us, but they'll see the comments,
But
right?
right, they'll see the comments, and the
Hmm.
dancers will too. Like, what if people are talking shit about like
But they're
somebody's
anonymous
body
and you
because
essentially don't care about them.
right, you're literally an anonymous paid for body.
Ooh, I just like
It's
made a cringe
oh,
face.
it's
I don't like
weird.
this.
Oh, it's ick.
Very ick.
Oh, talk about drink every time I say icky, but man, some K-pop stuff is icky, guys.
But I mean, I guess in the same way, even Maeve, they are anonymous, right? Like someone's singing. That's my other thing. Is it someone singing or is it AI? And I would like to believe that it's actually someone contracted singing because has AI gotten to that point where they can harmonize and make such good, and maybe they have
Oh,
deepfake stuff, so
I'm trying to, because now I'm trying to look it up. I'm trying to look it up for Maeve, but
I don't. I tried looking it up. I think very elementary. I didn't really go deep into a rabbit hole, and I don't think there was anything there that tells you what it is. It's not. It's very kind of secretive. Um, but it just feels like everyone's playing around with it because I do think these CEOs. It's at the end of the day, it's a business, and they know, like they say, how much risk an actual person poses to your business, especially. Even imagine a big group like BTS. So far, knock on wood, right? They've been pretty scandal free, but having a scandal would like really rock the group and rock like how many endorsements they have. Think about that. Like so much money is tied to them. All of Hybe is mostly BTS. I know obviously they're trying to move past that a little bit because they're not always going to have BTS, but for the most part, I'm sure most of the money comes from BTS. Um, and then, and I can give even a better example looking at Big Bang, who was peak, celebrity status back in the day. I'm sure a lot of the members still are, but they haven't gotten to that point. But they were rocked by so many scandals with T.O.P. having the marijuana scandal, which I know in America really like who the F cares, but in Korea it was a big deal. Then Seungri, who had the even worse scandal and has just been wiped from Korean celebrity status, that ruined the group. It ruined a lot of their stuff.
also like at some point, and maybe it's at that point now, like people can mess around with technology, like the way that fans could maybe interact with these characters in the metaverse, or
Hmm.
like things that fans could do to make it seem like this virtual character did a thing and caused a scandal. Like it's just
That's true. I don't know. It's very interesting.
So weird. Oh, it's so weird to think about.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. Very, very weird. Was there anything else on Eternity that you saw that you, I think you were looking up something or?
Oh no, I was trying to look up who the singers for Maeve were, and I
Yeah, I
couldn't.
told you it's like pretty
No
secretive.
idea.
Um, yeah, and then so far, as we said, except from Adam, there have been no boy groups, which is another very interesting thing to me. And I brought it up to Robin as well. That's so. I was trying to find another word other than interesting, but it's so interesting that it's it's always girls. You know, they sell girls first, and I mean, in real life, you have K-pop groups that are boys, cough cough, BTS, Big Bang, that are so big. So why haven't they been as explored virtually as much as girls? You know what I mean? And it just reminds me a bit of like kind of like that anime, like people like fantasizing and fetishizing like this, like a sexy woman that's digital and she
Yeah.
can do whatever you want, and she like won't speak
Uh
back,
huh.
you know.
That's exactly what it is, though, because I mean, this is like hypothesizing, but I feel like young girls, they latch onto the dream of maybe I could marry this guy one day. He's like my fake boyfriend, but maybe one day he'll see me in the
But
crowd
you
at the
want a real one,
concert.
right?
And yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's where the fans, like those
But
crazy
you've had,
stalker
yeah,
fans.
I've seen stories, and again, excuse my ignorance because I haven't really like searched so much, but I've seen more stories of men like being married to like a virtual character or like a sex doll. Have you seen that? Like people and like getting a divorce because they were in love with
Yeah.
their sex doll. And I don't see much of
Yeah.
that of like a woman falling in love with a male sex doll.
Well, that's where like I mean, I guarantee and I'm not going to look this up, but I guarantee there's deep fake porn of K-pop female
Oh, yeah.
idols
I'm sure
on
black
the
market.
internet.
Yeah.
So if you have like a virtual idol where it's almost like they're a virtual idol doesn't have any, I mean, besides the literal copyright and licensing or trademark or any of those sort of legal rights that a company holds over it, it's not like that's a
Yeah.
person. Like, so it changes an entire mindset of how these people, quote unquote, are treated, viewed. I don't know.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm making myself out again.
Icky.
I don't know why I made it dark with the deep fake porn thing, but
Safe space. It's a safe space. But anyway, so yeah, so my point being is that there wasn't many virtual groups, but there is one group that showed up where they have one virtual male member, Sejin. So I'm curious to see what they look like. I saw the comments so far, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's so nice." So I kind of have high expectations for them. This was from 2022 they debuted, so I don't know if they've had more songs since then or what happened to them, but this was their official MV that we're gonna watch. Watch Out, it's called. So let's take a look at them and see what we think.
Yeah. Hey, let's go.
Okay, so we just listened to Super Kind, and we kind of realized while we were watching it that maybe it's a game, and I think Robin, you looked into it.
yeah, so I was confused by what was happening in the video number one, but as you said, there's only one virtual member and
Mm-hmm.
what was it,
Yes,
four
for the
guys.
guys.
Um, so
Humans, for humans.
so I started looking in the description of the video and there was a link to a rule book for what may or may not be a game. I'm just gonna read what this says. We were in pursuit of discovering an entirely novel way for people to experience K-pop. We firmly believe that K-pop fans are capable of so much more than just simply consuming content. After watching music videos, fans have gone on to create even more impressive fan-made content. However, the current top-down approach to creation limits the number of people that can showcase their creative potential. So we decided to redefine the paradigm, and that's how Play Superkind began.
Okay.
So there are two prerequisites to become a player. So it says you've got to, if you're doing whatever bottom up creative is, you have to download bottom up creative mind. It says Play Superkind is founded on the principle that a collection of 1,000 ordinary people's content is greater than a blockbuster made by a single genius. I mean, I could have told you
Okay.
that. Like, okay, that's like kind of all it says. Then there's no gravity zone. Blah, 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 blah. Gravity is a fundamental principle that applies to everyone. Sure. We made our own rules in the way we cast. We brought Superkind from both the physical world and story worlds. Imagine your favorite animation character becoming a K-pop idol. Anything is possible in no gravity zone. So it says with these two prerequisites, which I don't even understand how those are prerequisites, but okay, anyone can become a player. By the way, at Play Superkind, we call our community members players, not fans. So take a chance and start small. Your short, simple video could be the most captivating thing ever for someone.
Oh, that's so interesting. So basically, they're an ever-involving group. It's like choose your own adventure, but like everyone like we're the CEOs. And I
Yeah,
just looked them up. They've become a seven-member boy group now. So they started as five, but now they're seven.
this is so. I mean, this is actually a pretty interesting
Yeah.
concept, but at the same time, going back to our regular talk of making money, companies making money, like you're just outsourcing all of the, well, some of the stuff to the fans so that in the end you can make things that fans like because they helped to create it. So it's a genius.
But then also there's a bit of a stress that comes out from it too, because what if the fans
The
or
players.
the players next time around don't like someone and he gets cut? It's like you're at the mercy of, you're not safe. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
might want a 13-member group next time around and then they want to go back to the 7-member group, which I'm sure, yeah, companies do that too, right? But
I'm like
ah,
diving deep into. I'm gonna try to get involved in this. I'm gonna become a player, guys. I'll let you know how it goes.
okay. Actually, yeah, I think it's so funny because Superkind was going to be just a little blip into our whole outline, but we actually ended up
This is
realizing
so.
there's more to this,
This
and
is
I'm
so
actually interested
weird.
too.
I'm like clicking through every page of this rule book right now.
No, totally. I actually want to look into it too. Maybe we can become players, and that could be our next episode, our deep dive into
I'm
Superkind.
trying to figure out. Okay, I've successfully completed the tutorials on the basics, so I'm gonna complete.
When did you do that already?
It's just
What?
literally clicking through a web page.
Stop it.
This is
All
so.
right,
This is
let's.
so interesting.
I
I'm gonna
wait. I
stop.
want to do this too, but let's finish this because we still have to talk about Girls Reapers. But I want to be a player too.
Oh my god,
Don't go ahead without me.
so genius, man.
I think this one's actually a good one. I think this is actually, like, from everything we've seen, this makes more sense to me. This is where I see virtual coming into play, not replacing them and being like, oh, forget the artist because they're a liability and they're a risk. This is like, oh, maybe let's do something fun with you guys and combine it. We'll have the real members, we'll have the virtual members, and put you guys in like the driving seat. Like, that's so fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come back to this. We'll have a follow-up
We are
episode
gonna have to become
after we
players.
become players.
I feel like what if this podcast just becomes a super kind podcast after this? It'll just be our journey
It
into us being
it
players.
might happen. We'll have super kind Sundays. It'll be great.
I would love it. Okay, yeah, this is great.
All right. So moving on
Last but not
from
least, we have one
Superkind.
more virtual group to
So this is not a virtual group
discuss.
yet.
Well, show.
This is
Yes.
Girls Reverse, which you can watch it on Viki if you want. Currently, there are 7 episodes up. I'm only on episode 2. So I'm gonna have to catch up. No spoilers, please. But when I first tried to watch it, I saw it in the recommended thing on Viki, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" And I made it maybe 5 minutes in, and I was just like, "Nah, not for me." But then, honestly, I think it's when Olivia sent me the Maeve thing. I was like, "Let me go back and re-look at this girls' reverse situation." And then
You
I
reversed. You
reversed.
reversed back into girls reverse.
I am hooked. I am so involved in this whole series, this whole competition show. So,
And now you got super kind too. So we got
oh,
you hooked in the virtual
oh
world.
no, yeah, it
Oh
looks that
no.
way. Um, but Girls Reverse is a survival show where 30 girl group members compete with each other in a virtual world for the chance to debut in a 5-member group. So we have 30 girls in the beginning. It's going to end up with a 5-member virtual group. So the real life identities of these virtual characters are hidden so that you really only see, I mean, you see their dancing skills to an extent because it is using VR motion capture that's live. So it's like,
It's like hidden mask singer.
kind of, I mean, well, you'll see.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
so, so the dancing is like kind of janky because the virtual characters, like, I mean,
Hmm.
you'll see that the technology is not at the level of Maeve when it comes to using like live, real time VR motion capture. But you see them sing and dance. The MCs are hilarious. I know that I texted you as soon as I got to the part in the first episode where the MC showed up because it's Boom, who I guess he was a singer. Is he still a singer? I don't know, but I know him from like as a TV presenter. Bana from SES, Aki from the leader of Hook, the dance crew. She was on Street Woman Fighter. Which why did I just say her name is Aki?
Is it Aiki?
Saiki. I don't.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm cracking myself up. Um,
Safe space. It's okay.
and Pengsu from EBS, like the educational broadcasting system. So like
Yeah,
their
that's.
version of PBS, they have the Penguin dude,
Oh God.
which I mean, like it's just
Why?
I don't know. It's
Is it because he's a cartoon? So he can like comment on that? Like, what?
I don't know, but
Interesting.
we're gonna we're gonna take a second. I found a snippet of the second episode for Olivia to watch. Somehow the first 2 episodes in full are on YouTube. If you don't have Viki, I don't. Oh, they are English subtitled, so we could drop that link in there. But otherwise, it's on Viki. So we're gonna check out a performance from the second episode to give Olivia a taste of this weird, weird survival show.
I'm ready.
Pretty boys 그게 뭔데 I don't care 그게 뭔데 미안하단 말은 왜
We just watched a clip of the second episode of Girls Reverse. I forget the name of the character, but she sang Beautiful by Jamie and then started dancing to Snappin'. I just wanted to give Olivia a taste of how bizarre this show is, and I tried to explain to her what's going on.
I think I have way too many questions. Specifically, once she was dancing, right? And I'm like, first of all, I asked, do they see the girl dancing or do they see the character? And you said they just see the character. But then in my head, I'm like, when you see a real person dancing, you see the movements, you see like, oh, they're actually hitting every point. Whereas the character, like, if you raise your hand, like, she'll raise her hand and it'll look good, you know? So it's like, how can you tell when someone's not dancing well?
You can, well, so I'm only so far into the show, but you can kind of tell who has practiced using the VR equipment to make the
Okay.
movements more like precise or how they're supposed to look, and those who didn't take the time to do that, and
But
they're
that's also not fair then, right? Because it's more like, how well can you
it's
use the VR
well,
equipment?
they're gonna be a VR fake group, so that should be part of it.
Well, they should have invested in, like, where they wear the bodysuits and it actually tracks you. But I'm sure that's freaking expensive. But you know what I'm talking about? Like Hollywood, like they wear like
Well,
those like
that's
weird
because
suits with all the
in
dots.
this show it's real time. So I honestly don't even I think actually no. I think the show is supposed to debut in November and they had some sort of problem with like the developers or tech or something. So the show didn't debut until January.
Okay.
Um because it's all happening in real time. So the part that you didn't get to see in that is that they're all like in this large room together, all the girls, but they're in within the large room. There are 30 separate kind of just square rooms, pods. I don't know. So when they come in the beginning, they all wear like one girl wore a pillowcase over her head to like walk in, and people have to guide them in because the girls can't see each other. And
Mm-hmm.
we're not supposed to know who they actually are because some of them seem to be quite famous or were famous at some time.
See, that's interesting too.
So they're all in their little rooms in this creepy larger room. So they show overhead shots where you see all the girls with the VR headsets on. So the fact, honestly, that they can have 30 people, including the four judges. Then they have an audience that gets shown that are in separate rooms that all seem to be men who get to go and vote too. Because, like any survival show, it's like the judges' vote counts not that much.
X
Then
percent.
there's like
Yeah.
a cacao thing online where people can
Voting. Yeah.
pre-vote, and then there's the audience who's like they're live. So I guess people who have like headsets and were invited to the thing, they're probably at home. They all get to go vote. So it's so bizarre, Olivia. But I'm obsessed with it now, and I want Chonky Cat to win. She's my favorite. I haven't seen her one-on-one deathmatch yet, though, so I'm probably gonna watch that after we stop recording.
I feel like I'm gonna have to watch an episode as well. So it's funny. The last two ones we're talking about are the ones we're really getting into. But the component that I think kind of reels us in is that they're kind of anonymous, but not so anonymous, right? Like with Superkind, I think I'm saying their name right. It is
Yeah.
Superkind, right? Yeah, it is Superkind. I forgot. With Superkind, it's like you have the real members and then you have this like virtual member, and it's that aspect of people are involved. And then same thing with Girls Reverse, like yes, you don't know who it is, but they're there. You know that it's someone real doing the song, dancing in real time. And you still have the element of people choosing and being a part of their creation. And it's not so manufactured, which is what like Maeve is, and Eternity and KDA, where it's like, oh, like a company decided I'm gonna create this like awesome group that like probably feeds off of the popular girl groups, Blackpink, aespa, whatever. And it's interesting that the ones that attracted us the most are the ones where we kind of have a say in
Yeah.
it. and it's not just what you're trying to feed
And I
me.
know that as girls get eliminated, so I haven't gotten that far yet, but I'm gonna binge watch this, and I've got to catch up so I don't get any spoilers. They'll reveal the identities as people get eliminated. I don't know
Okay.
if they're gonna reveal the identities of the five that make it to the end, though. That's that's
See,
not
that's what I was
clear.
gonna ask too. Like, I'm curious how far they'll take it because there is an element of if these people are celebrities, at some point the reveal makes it more interesting too, right? Like you can keep it secret up to a point and then it's like, oh, now they get revealed and it's like fun. It's another like a game, it's fun. So I wonder if they'll do that or they'll just debut with them and it's kind of but then it's like what? Like are they actually gonna dance as themselves or will they continue this virtual world?
I think what they're going for is this whole metaverse thing where like they will put on concerts
Okay.
there and they'll have fan signs and I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of guessing, but
Okay.
it's interesting stuff.
It's something to look forward to. Honestly, a lot of people there's a few here that Eternity I don't really care. I don't ever want to watch them again. I'm good with them. Super Kind I want to take a look into. Girls Reverse I want to take a look into. And I want to keep my eye. I feel like KDA is so tied to League of Legends that they probably just are specific. Like, they're not going to be like, oh, I'm a girl group, especially because you have to get those girls together that are actual celebrities. But Maeve is interesting too. Like, I wonder how far that's going to
Yeah.
go. And then comparing them to Espa, who has some virtual, like, will they get like that level of popularity with them or will they not? And then they'll just die off.
Yeah.
So it's some things to want to keep my
I mean, I
eyes
think with
out.
Maeve and KDA, I'm gonna listen to the songs. Like, I will listen to Maeve songs, and probably like a couple of months from now, I'll forget they're even a virtual group, and I'll just be like, that song came up on
Yeah.
Spotify, so good.
You're right. I forgot about KDA. Like totally out of my head. But I do think this will be the future. But this is great. We have a lot of homework to do with other
Oh man,
catching up.
I tell you, I'm gonna become a super kind player. You guys, watch out.
And they'll do what we want.
You didn't have to make it sound nefarious. All right,
I love it.
should we wrap up now?
I think we've beat this topic to death at this point. We're good.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in today. As always, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Kpop Hot Sheet. Rate us on Apple Music and Spotify if you enjoyed the show. Definitely, since we're still not on a set schedule, we're working out the kinks over here. Turn on notifications on Spotify. You can click the little bell icon on there if you want to be notified of new episodes when they're uploaded. And we will try to get this a bit more organized, but we really hope that you're enjoying the conversation so far. And if you have any interesting topics you'd want to hear us talk about, just drop it in the Instagram DMs.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.